will get started on our back. This is going to be a gentle, very introductory class. So those of you who want to modify to make anything more challenging for yourself, feel free to do so. And we'll begin on our backs. So once you're on your back, you can figure out how you want to put your legs for maximum comfort. So if your legs are straight, sometimes taking them a little wider apart is a little more relaxing. Or if it's not comfortable for your back to have your legs straight, you can just bend your knees and place your feet on the ground. And you can also take your feet a little wider and rest your knees together and see if that feels better still. So it's totally up to you. And today I would like us to start by bringing one hand onto the belly, just below the navel, and one hand onto the chest. And if it's possible, you can let your elbows rest down as well. And I invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to do my best to instruct in a way that allows you to follow my words and not have to see what I'm doing. But if you ever need to open your eyes to see what's happening, feel free. But it's best if you can keep your eyes closed if that feels safe and comfortable enough for you. Then we can really be inside the experience without distraction. So to begin, just take a moment to feel what it's like to be laying down on the ground in the middle of your workday. Not something you do all that often. Mostly we don't lay down except to go to bed. So just see how it feels to let your body rest and to really feel the support of the ground holding you. And allow yourself to release and relax into that support. Just letting go of any tensions, any holding. And in yoga, we also try to let go of any judgments. So we're observing our experience, but not for the purpose of judging it, just so that we can connect with it, so that we can better understand what's happening in our bodies, in our hearts, in our minds. And you can feel all the places where your body is touching the ground. So maybe starting at your feet, maybe feeling the legs if they're down, feeling the buttocks, and all the places your back is touching down. The arms, and the back of the head. You can really let your body be heavy and sink into all these points of contact. And now moving your awareness from the outer layers of your body to the inner layers of your body, and you can start to feel your breath. And just notice where you feel the breath. So there's a little bit of a movement, there's some sensation. Maybe you feel a sense of your body expanding a little bit as you inhale. Maybe you feel yourself relaxing a little bit as you exhale. Then we're going to start to increase the breath. And just notice where your hand is resting on your belly and try to breathe into your hand, letting your belly swell and expand with the inhale. Just like a balloon gets bigger when you breathe into it, let your belly get bigger and rounder as you breathe into it. And then let your belly relax down and get smaller as you breathe out. We'll do that a few times until it becomes a little more natural. And it may never become natural today, but that's okay because it will eventually. See if you can feel your belly rising up into the palm of your hand as you inhale and releasing down toward the floor as you exhale. Okay, so now we're going to breathe into the belly just like we have been, and then continue the inhale and let it expand out into the ribs, the space between the hands. So inhaling fully into the belly, and then keep the inhale coming into the ribs. And then the exhale will come out through the ribs and then the belly, still sinking down as you exhale, expanding out as you inhale. And now we'll add one last piece. So inhaling into the belly, still inhaling into the ribs, and then still inhaling all the way up into the chest where your other hand is placed. Exhaling out, chest, ribs, belly. So it's one continuous inhale, but we feel it in 3 phases. First filling the belly, then filling the ribs, then all the way up into the chest. One part flowing into the next and into the next. Exhaling all the air out, relaxing down. And then you can see if releasing your hands off your body still allows you to breathe in this 3-part breath. And if you feel like it's not as easy without your hands, just return your hands. Or maybe if only one part feels a little bit challenging to you without your hands, you can put your hand back on that one part. And now we'll all bend the knees and place the feet on the floor. And we're going to try to keep this same breath going throughout the class. The breathing is the most important part, and it will become harder to establish the breath when I'm also asking you to do other things that you have to pay attention to. But over time, the breath will become so familiar to you that you'll be able to sustain it even while we add other things on top of it. But consider the breath kind of like the background music, and the movement is like a dance that we're doing to the music. And so now, as you inhale, you're going to tilt your tailbone down and let your belly rise up. Then the breath will continue from the belly up into the chest. And then as we exhale, we'll curl the tailbone up and press the lower back into the ground. So we're coordinating the breath and the movement. The tailbone turns to face down. The lower back will arch off the floor. The belly will lift and round. The breath comes into the belly, flows into the ribs and into the chest. And then on the exhale, we curl the tailbone up, we press the low back down, and the belly comes down toward the spine. So just continuing like that at your own pace. So the knees are bent. This has to be done with bent knees. It can't be done with straight legs. The feet are on the floor. Okay, now I'm going to give you two options. You can let that pelvic movement come to stillness and just do the arms. Or if you feel like you can coordinate the breathing, the arms, and the pelvis, do all three. If you're new to this practice, you might just let the pelvis come to rest and just do the arms with me. So on the inhale, we're going to sweep the arms out to the side overhead, kind of like making angel wings in the snow. And then on the exhale, we'll lift the arms up into the air and place them back down beside. And inhaling, arms sweep out to the side and overhead, touching the floor. And then exhaling, the arms down. So if you're still doing the pelvic movement, you're turning the tailbone down as the arms come up overhead, and then you're curling the tailbone up as the arms come back down. Arms overhead. So if your shoulders are able to, you want to bring the arms completely overhead, parallel to each other for the inhale. And then once the arms are completely overhead, then you bring them up and over. Not everybody's able to bring the arms overhead, and that's fine. Okay, now we're going to reverse. On the inhale, lift the arms up into the air and go overhead as far as you can go. And then exhale, slide them down across the floor to come back by your side. And again, you can do the pelvic motion with that or not. Okay, last variation. The arms will come up in the air overhead for the inhale, and then come up in the air to come back down on the exhale. Inhaling up and over. Exhaling up and down. Okay, one more time like that, and then we'll add on. So the next time you lift your arms, press into your feet and lift your hips in the air. And then when the arms come down, the buttocks comes down. Inhaling, arms up, press into the feet, get the buttocks off the ground. Beautiful, nice. Exhaling down. And just continue like that at your own pace. Belly, ribs, chest. Nice, long, deep breath. Challenge yourself with your breath. Okay. The next time your hips come up in the air, we're going to leave the hips in the air and then just bring the arms back by your side. So hips stay up, arms come back down, keeping the hips up. And then see if you can clasp your hands together under your body. Not everybody can, just see if you can, if your fingers can interlace. And then kind of roll your arms under you so that you're on your shoulders. Kind of try to scoot your arms under you. And if you're not able to interlace your fingers, then instead you're going to hold on to the sides of your yoga mat. And try to roll your shoulders under you so that you're on your shoulders. Good. Now press forward into your feet and see if you can lift your hips higher. Yes, beautiful. Nice. So we're not holding on to our hips. Either we're clasping the hands and holding the hands together, or we're holding on to the outer edges of the yoga mat. Let's just take 2 more deep breaths here. Belly, ribs, chest. And once you've finished your 2 breaths, you can release your hands, lay your spine slowly back down. Excellent. And then hug the knees into the chest with your hands. You might like to rock a little bit side to side, just giving your back a little bit of a massage. And then come back to center. Place one hand on each knee. And then roll the knees in circles away from each other. So you're opening the knees away from each other, going in a circle and coming back in. Big circles around. Nice. So we're warming up the hip joint now. See if you can feel that in your hip. And then as the knees come apart, we inhale. As the knees come together, we exhale. Okay, now we're going to circle the knees the other way. Still inhaling as they come out and exhaling as they come in. Beautiful. And then come back to stillness. Send your right arm straight out to the side. And then roll over onto your right side. Place your left hand on top of your right hand. Okay. Let your head come to the ground. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift the left arm all the way up and bring it to the floor behind you, turning your head to the left. And then exhale, come back. Yep. Inhale all the way up, turning your head. Nice. Exhale back. And feel your breath as you do this. Really pay attention to the feeling of your breath. That helps you get more in touch with how full or shallow the breath is. It also helps to quiet the mind, which is a big part of this practice. It's a meditation. Let's do 2 more on this side. Feeling how your spine is twisting. And then the next time your arm comes behind you, keep it there. And then bring your knees up and over to the other side, bringing the right arm with you, resting the arm on top of the hand on top of the other hand. And then inhale and right arm lifts up and over to the floor behind you, turning your head to the right. Exhale, coming back. Just like that. Continue at your own pace. Do your best to keep your knees on the ground. Maybe the top one may need to come off. That's perfectly normal. Try to keep the bottom leg on the ground if you can. And then we'll do one more. And then when your hand comes back to rest on top of the other hand, just stay there for a moment. And just notice how you feel. Reconnect with the simplicity of your breath. Good. And then place the top hand on the ground. Press into that hand and press yourself up to sitting. So we're going to come into a cross-legged position. You can just cross your ankles for easy pose. You can bring one leg on top for half lotus. See what's comfortable for you. Now, often it's not that easy to sit cross-legged without rounding your back. And that just means that your hips aren't open enough. So if your hips are tight, then the posture is going to look more like this with your knees up in the air. And then if your knees are up in the air, it's going to be hard to sit up with a straight spine. And so what I do is I sit up on a pillow. And if you don't have a pillow and you have towels, you just fold your towels up into a little bench and then you sit up on the bench. I personally need to sit up on something, otherwise I find myself slouching and rounding my back. So I like to encourage people to do that if it's something that would support your practice. And then you just kind of sit off the front edge so that your knees kind of hang down a little bit more, and you see if it's a little easier to sit this way. And some people sit on a stack of towels or blankets super high, and I encourage that if that would support you. The idea is for your knees to be at the same height as your hips. So any amount that your knees are higher than your hips makes it harder to sit. So we'll just wait a few minutes. Juana's gonna go get more towels, which makes me happy. So the rest of us can just close our eyes and meditate on the feeling of the breath. Excellent. So much of yoga is about listening to your body. In fact, that's kind of all of yoga. It's really connecting with your body, feeling what it needs, feeling how it feels. So anytime you need to modify what I'm suggesting in order to better suit your own body, I really appreciate that. That's the highest yoga practice. Teresa models that for us beautifully. She has shoulder issues. She takes care of it in whatever way she needs to. And I encourage all of you, if anything that I say at any time doesn't feel good to your body, do something that feels better. Okay. So now we're going to just sit here and see if we can sink our sit bones down, lift our spine tall, feel our heart opening so that we're not slouching. The heart can be open and we can breathe belly, ribs, chest. So that same breath that we did laying down, practicing it here in this upright posture. And then again, we're going to add some movement onto the breath. As we inhale, we're going to open the arms out wide. And then as we exhale, we're going to clasp the hands, press them forward, tuck the chin, round the back. Inhale, take those clasped hands and press them up. And exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, arms out wide, bring the hands behind you, stick your heart out, look up. Exhale, round your back, tuck your chin, pull your belly in. Inhale, take the arms up, stretch tall. Exhale, release the arms. Inhaling, chest out, eyes up, arms back. Exhale, rounding the back, tucking the chin, pressing the palms forward. Inhale, pressing up tall. Exhale, releasing down. Let's do 3 more at your own pace. I'll be quiet. Try to lengthen your breath so that it really takes the same amount of time to do the breathing as it does to do the movement. Last one. This time on the exhale, instead of just releasing your arms down, we're going to fold forward over the legs and drop the hands to the ground in front of us. Good. Now, try to let your elbows bend a little bit. Just get a little bend in your elbow. Good. And let your head relax down as much as you can. And now we're going to try to breathe that same 3-part breath, but you'll notice you can't really breathe belly, ribs, chest in the way that you were doing before. because we're folded over our belly and our ribs and our chest. But have the same intention to breathe from the bottom to the top and feel it filling into your torso, and just notice where you actually feel the breath when you're in this position, a seated forward bend. And you can see how the breath starts to expand in new places in your body based on the position that your body's in. And this is what starts to bring a little bit more life, a little bit more health, a little bit more ease to the body. We all carry tension in our body. That's just the consequence of being human. So when we breathe in lots of air, we kind of displace those tension holding parts. And then when we exhale, we can release some of that tension. It's very cleansing. So just keep breathing deeply and exhale and letting go. Relaxing as you exhale. Feel yourself softening. Feel yourself sinking. Feel yourself surrendering. Those elbows have a slight bend so that there's a little bit of a letting go that's possible. On your next inhale, roll yourself up, reach the arms back up, and then exhale, release the arms down. Just sit for a moment, feel how your breath feels now, feel how your mind feels now. And then open your eyes and look at your legs and feet. So notice which foot is crossed in front of the other foot, and then release your legs and shake them out. Okay. And then we're going to cross our legs again with the opposite leg in front. So our bodies are not balanced. All of us have a side that feels a little bit more open than the other. And so in yoga, we always want to try to bring balance into the body. Whatever we do on one side, we do on the other side as well. Good. Now we'll inhale and bring the arms up. And then exhale, place the left hand down on the ground beside you. Really let your weight come into that hand. And then push the hand away from you into the floor and see if that sinks your right sit bone a little deeper into the ground or the whatever you're sitting on. We want to keep that connection with the right sit bone down, and then turn your gaze up and to the right if that's okay on your neck. If not, you can do whatever's comfortable for you. And then we're going to reach out long through the right fingers and feel that same 3-part breath. And notice, do you feel it more on the right side than on the left side? As you exhale, bend your left elbow and sink. On your next inhale, lift and reach the arms up. And then exhale, bring the right hand down. Bring weight into the hand. Push the hand away from you, sinking down into the left hip and sit bone. Turn your gaze up if that's okay on your neck. If not, do what feels better to you. And then that left arm will reach overhead to the right. Try to bring the left arm all the way over. Turn the palm to face down. palm facing down. Turn the palms the other way, one. No, you were good. You had the right posture. Yeah, exactly. And then reach over to the right as much as you can, extending out long through the in fingers as you inhale, relaxing into it as you exhale, reaching as you inhale, relaxing as you exhale. On your next inhale, lift up, reach the arms up, and then exhale, fold forward, bringing your hands to the ground, resting your head, trying to get a light bend in your elbow. Even if your elbows can't fully bend, you just don't want them to be locked. Beautiful. And then feel the breath with the intention to breathe from bottom to top. And it's just seeing how it shows up in your body, where it shows up in your body, what the relationship is between the breath and the posture, the shape that you're in. On your next inhale, roll yourself up, reach the arms up, and exhale the arms down. Just take a moment in stillness, feeling the breath returning to belly, ribs, chest. And then we'll bring the chin over to the right shoulder and then circle it all the way around. Stay connected to your breathing. So some of these simpler postures might make it a little bit easier to stay connected to the breathing. So we want to train ourselves with the breath so that when we get into the harder positions that require more of our attention, we don't abandon the breathing. That takes time to master, but it's a practice. And then we'll circle the other way. Just feeling any tightness or tension in the neck. Having the intention to exhale out all the tension. And then come back to stillness. Release the legs again and shake them out. If the knees feel cranky, you can rub the knees with your hands. Beautiful. And then find your way onto hands and knees. We're going to line the hands up right under the shoulders. If your hands hurt, you can be on fists instead of hands. The knees are going to be right under the hips. And when we inhale, we're going to curl the tailbone up. Let the belly sink down. Breathe into the belly. Breathe into the ribs, breathe into the chest as we look up. On the exhale, we're going to curl the tailbone down, let the belly lift up, let the head drop down. This is called cat pose. And then on the exhale, we curl the tailbone up and then continue that wave all the way up to the top of the head, looking up with the eyes for cow pose. And just do a few more like that. One more. And then come back to your table position, flat back on all four legs of the table. And then just walk your hands one hand's length forward. Spread the fingers wide apart. Curl the toes under. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, lift your knees. Straighten your legs. Push forward with your hands like you're trying to fold your torso toward your thighs. Let your head relax down completely in between your arms. And then push forward into your hands, sending your hips back. And try to really let the crown of your head release to the floor. Press your thighs back toward the wall behind you. And then try to press your heels down. If they don't come down, that's fine. Most people's don't. Don't change your posture just to make your heels come down. Just press them down to stretch out the backs of the legs. And again, drop your head all the way down. Let it hang. It's fine to come out of the pose. Takes a little while to get the stamina to stay in it longer. Good. Now we're all going to walk the feet up to the hands. So you just walk the feet forward, up to the hands. And then with bent knees, we roll all the way up to standing. Reaching the arms up as we inhale and exhale down. Beautiful. And just stand here for a moment, feet hip width apart, eyes closed, turn your palms to face forward, reconnecting with your three-part breath, belly, ribs, chest. Okay. And then open your eyes. We're going to try to do a little balancing pose today. Balance is one of the more challenging things that people do when they're new to yoga. So it's important not to be frustrated and not to judge, and to know that, remember how you were when you first started walking, when you were like 11 or 12 months old. You took a step and you fell, and you took a step and you fell. If you judged yourself, you wouldn't get back up, and you still wouldn't know how to walk today. So we're just learning, okay? So we're gonna take our weight and shift it into our left foot. We're gonna open the eyes and find a spot in front of us to lock our gaze on. So it may be a place on the carpet, it may be a place on the wall. And then we're gonna feel our breath, and this is important. This is what stabilizes the mind, which in turn stabilizes the body. Okay. Now we're gonna bring that right foot to the inside of the left leg. Your eyes need to stay focused on that spot, otherwise you will fall. So we have a couple of different tools that we use to keep ourselves from falling. One is keeping the eyes fixed. The other one is keeping the mind fixed. The mind stays focused on the breath, and the breath stays slow, and that helps us. Now, if you're challenged with the balance, then I'm going to show you an alternative, which is you're going to bring your foot to the inside of your ankle, and then your toes can touch down. So a little bit of a support for the balance. And then the hands come together at the heart. If you're balanced, you can lift your arms up overhead. If you're struggling with the balance, keep your hands at the heart. Focus your eyes. Focus on your breath. This is the most challenging thing we're going to do today. So just be kind to yourself. Do the best you can. Good. And then release out of it. Close your eyes. Reconnect with your breath. And see how your mind is reacting. See if you're having disappointment or pride or expectations or judgments. And just see if you can just let that go. Focus so clearly on your breath that your mind has no room for any of the chatter. And then while you're staying focused on your breath, shift your weight into your right foot. So for some people, this side is easier. You'll see. Stay fixed with your gaze. Don't let your eyes wander. As soon as your eyes wander, your body goes in that direction. It's just, that's the science of the body. So if your eyes are in front of you and not moving, your body won't move as much. Then focus on your breathing. And then when you're ready, put your left foot to the inside of your right leg. And it can be down at the bottom or it can be anywhere on the leg that you want. The hands come together at the heart in a prayer position. You can pray for balance. And if you are balanced, then the hands can come up. If you're struggling with the balance, the hands stay down. And then if you're in the variation where your foot is all the way down at your ankle, experiment. What happens if you lift your toes up for a second and you're balancing just on your right foot? It's okay. It's just an experiment. It's called practice. Okay, let's bring the arms down and just stand for a moment with the eyes closed. Feel your breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to inhale and reach the arms up. Exhale and fold forward with straight legs, letting the arms hang down. Let the head hang down. And then push down into your feet and feel your thighs gripping your leg bones. And then as you exhale, pull your belly in toward your spine. Inhale, feet push down, thighs lift and grip. Exhale, you take your navel and you pull it back toward your spine. Couple more breaths here. Try to release your head. You can even breathe out of the mouth and sigh and let go of some of the tension in the neck. Maybe shake your head out a little bit to release the neck a little bit more. Good. One more breath here. And then bend your knees, lower your buttocks all the way down onto your mat. Bringing your feet in front of you, we'll come all the way down onto our backs. And if you have an eye pillow, you can place them on your eyes. If your legs are out straight, take them away from each other. Take your arms out away from the body with the palms facing up. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, close your eyes. If you want to cover your eyes with a towel or cover your body with a towel, see what would feel good to you. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, sink your body into the ground. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Release your jaw. So your top teeth and your bottom teeth no longer touch, and you part the lips slightly so your mouth can relax and your whole face can relax. And then one more deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting go of the contents of your mind. Just whoosh, letting go of images, words, let them float away like clouds in the sky. And then turn your attention to the feeling of your breath in your body. And just notice, where do you most easily feel your breath? And then let go of your breath. So all the teachings on the 3-part breathing, just forget it. Just let it go and just let the breath come naturally, just however you would normally breathe when you're not paying attention to your breath, except we're paying attention to our breath. So, can you breathe without effort, but with awareness? Can you bring awareness to your breath without controlling it? Can you let the body just relax here? Just completely relax into the ground. Let your mind just rest on the feeling of your breath, wherever you feel it, however it feels. There's no wrong breath. This breath is a miracle. It's a gift. Just receive it, however it's being given. Enjoy it. Relax with it. Deeply relaxed. Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. Breathe into your heart. Move the fingers and the toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath, stretch long. Hug the knees to the chest and rock from side to side. Once again, allowing the ground to massage your back. And then come center. Bring the soles of your feet together with your knees out to the side. Bring your palms together. Your feet are in the air, touching each other. Rub your feet together and your hands together. And then roll over onto either side. Rest your head on your underside arm, using your arm like a pillow for your head. Just rest in the feeling that you've created for yourself through your practice. Just notice how it feels now compared to when we started class. Notice how you feel. Maybe send yourself a little note of gratitude for the gift that you've given yourself by practicing yoga today. And then when you're ready, press yourself up into any comfortable seated position. So when I say any comfortable seated position, I really mean that. You know, if you weren't doing yoga and somebody just told you to sit on the floor, how would you sit? Some people like to sit on their feet. Some people like to have their legs out in front of them. It's up to you. Let your sit bones sink down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands together at the heart. Inhale, lift the heart up to the hands. Exhale, relax the shoulders down. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in. Let it all go. Drop the chin to the chest. So at the end of class, we say namaste. It's one word with a very long translation. The translation is, from the place of light and peace within me, I bow to the place of light and peace within you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you, Z.
Thank you.
Thanks, Z.